everyone, welcome back to the B-Movie Bunker. Today we're looking at 1986's Chopping Mall, brought to us by Jim Wynorski. Jim Wynorski has done a lot of films, I guess. Bear Wedge, The Breastford Wives, Alabama Jones and the Busty Crusade, and so on. I kind of get the idea that those types of films explains a lot of what I saw in this movie. This is considered by some to be one of those classic 80s type of movies. Basic premise of it is the mall. You have a mall, as you do in 90% of all movies in the 1980s. There's a mall, and they have these new robots for security, which are pretty much military-grade robots. They're going to work the night security at the mall. Now, you know, the robots that they show in the video have these little tasers, but then apparently these things they got like plasma torches that can cut through anything. They've got lasers that they can shoot that'll like blow things up. Not quite sure how you would get this at a mall, but we might be overthinking this for a movie called Chopping Mall. You have a bunch of younger people who decide to have a little party in one of the stores after hours. And then the robots, of course, go berserk when they're struck by lightning. Lightning always brings things to life. You know, Jason, Freddy, robots, Godzilla, you know, lightning strikes and it brings things to life. Frankenstein, how can I forget Frankenstein? My biggest problem with this movie is it's called Chopping Mall. There's very, 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 very little chopping. There's lots of lasers and machine guns with people shooting, because apparently the sporting goods stores in the malls in the 80s, although I never saw one, would sell like M16s. I never saw one of those in a mall by me, but, you know, whatever. And these robots have apparently no targeting computers, because their aim is pretty awful. It's cheesy, it's campy. To me, it drags a bit. It's too long. There's a total of, you got the 8, you know, co-eds, whatever, that are in the mall, and 1 or 2 other people. And for the length of the film, there's not enough going on. It's a lot of kind of just hanging around, and I mean, it takes a while for things to really get going, where it really starts to pick up, and then it's kind of repetitive. The same thing, robots shooting lasers at people and missing everyone, and then them shooting guns at them to absolutely no effect, and then 10 minutes later repeat this cycle. I mean, for what it is, okay, it's okay. I know some people love this one. I thought it was alright. I'm probably never going to go back and rewatch this one. I watched it, thought it was meh. So, it's definitely a 1980s movie. You can tell by the way the people are dressed, the whole mall experience, which is so 1980s. Yes, malls still exist today, but it was the thing in the 1980s for those of you younger folk out there who don't know about things in my day. And on a scale of 1 to 10, this is it's kind of like being at the mall in the 80s. You're there longer than you want to be. You really are. And it's really, really less exciting than anyone tells you it's going to be. This movie, you know, it had the idea of being kind of cool and a great idea of killer robots in a mall, but it didn't quite work as far as I'm concerned. It was kind of blah, and I got really bored with the repetitiveness of the lasers, guns bouncing off, lasers, guns bouncing off. Oh, there one person dies because they rammed their golf cart into a robot and it explodes. Because apparently if you ram a golf cart at 4 miles an hour, they must be Pinto golf carts made by like those did. So if you're really, really, you know, just like jonesing for some robots shooting lasers at teenagers, I suppose you could check this one out. If you want to see a little bit of naked boobie, sure, but aren't there other places you can see that? Like maybe get a real girlfriend and see that, or rent an actual porno, because the acting level is about the same too. So that's all I really have for this one. I was kind of disappointed by this because it's on so many lists of like these classics from this genre, and I just was kind of bored by it. So until next time, why don't you all stay safe out there in the wasteland, folks.